welcome back to the 5th episode of Legion of Clods podcast. Today, we have a new guest, but first, these old people who have been here before.
Oh.
Everyone go ahead, introduce yourself.
Hello. I'm totally not Taylor.
I totally am Taylor.
Oh, not this again.
And I'm Scott.
Oh,
Who am I? No one knows me.
you're other Scott.
Okay.
Clearly there's two
alright.
Taylors and two Scotts this time
I want to
around.
be Logan. Can I
Yeah.
change my answer?
That'll be clear to
It's too
everyone.
late. You failed, Garrett.
Oh,
I'm
okay,
sorry,
Scott.
other Scott.
No,
Scott.
but there's
What?
definitely Taylor, definitely not Taylor, Scott, and then there's mystery person.
Right.
Mystery man.
Anyways, we have Scott, Taylor, Garrett, and our guest this week, Lachlan.
That's me. Hello.
Yeah. So, start off like we usually do. What's everybody been playing? We'll start with Lachlan since he's new.
Oh wow. Well, I've just been playing one thing, I guess, between school stuff. I have been getting back into World of Warcraft since the new expansion, Warlords of Draenor, just came out, and I had taken a very long break, so I don't actually have anyone at max level to make use of the new stuff, but I'm quickly getting there, so it's been pretty fun.
And we will talk. So you will talk some about that later.
I'm
Great.
excited for that because I used to play World of Warcraft.
Yeah. And
It's
I tried
very
it
fun.
once, and it was terrible for me.
That's because you played the free version.
Okay. So Garrett,
Yeah.
what have you been playing this week?
Oh, well, I just got Center of the Fourth, so I've been playing a lot of that recently. Not a very new game, but still fun.
Taylor.
Well, I had a lab final this week, so I've mostly been sitting in my room and crying. But other than that, I played a bit of the Binding of Isaac Rebirth, the re-release of the old game, on PlayStation 4 since it was free for PSN users. So
Nice.
that's mostly what I've been playing. I picked up Shadow of Mordor again, like an hour before this started.
Again?
Huh?
Again?
I mean, I started playing it. I haven't played it.
Oh, I thought like you meant you like picked it up again, like bought it again. I'm like,
No, I loved it so much that I have 2 copies now.
Well, I thought maybe you like got it for a different system, but then I was like, you only have a PC and a PlayStation, and
I have an Xbox 360 too.
oh,
But I mean, yeah. I mean, I just picked it up again and started playing. But yeah, it hasn't changed. It's still there. That's good.
you still get to beat up orcs and stuff. So,
Mhm.
Scat, what have you been playing?
Oh, gee, that's a good question.
I know one thing you've been playing.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I guess I've been playing Pokemon for past couple days. Alpha Sapphire. But yeah, other than that, nothing much. I'm trying to psych myself up to finish Trauma Center because it's been about a month since I got stuck and just said,
Oh boy.
screw it all, and decided to just never touch it again. But then recently I'm like, this unfinished business is just eating away at my soul. So I know I'm really close to the end because I was talking about it with a friend the other day, and I explained where I got stuck, and he's like, yeah, you're basically like right before the end. And I was like, well, I can't just not finish it, even if I have to perform 10 surgeries in 5 minutes. So
That's
I'm
right.
trying to
I got really confused there for a second because I remember you talking about Phoenix Wright before the podcast started, and I thought you were still talking about Phoenix Wright. So I was like,
Oh.
surgeries?
No.
What?
but
It's gotten very intense.
You know
You know,
those lawyer
speaking of that-
surgeries?
Yeah, those lawyers. I mean, they got to get. I have no clever joke. Speaking of that, shout out to my mother for making it to the second trial day of the second case of the first game.
Wait, okay, never mind.
Well,
She,
I'll take
yeah,
that.
she's been playing it on the iPhone, and she is making it way farther than I ever thought she would make it. So,
That's very cool.
yeah, so she's gonna be doing that, and it would be amazing if she finishes the first game because, well, actually, it'd also be really weird, but maybe then at least she'd understand some of the Phoenix Wright-ish things that I do, but yeah, that's been my
Lincoln.
games. I basically, me and Logan have been like playing Borderlands a little bit
and
too.
Borderlands
Started-
pre-sequel.
We started a new run.
We're doing a new run in pre-sequel, and we're finishing General Knox DLC, and
Right,
Finishing all the DLC.
Best character.
I still think Doppelganger Jack has become one of my favorite characters. He's so well written.
He is pretty cool.
I've been.
Also- I need to finish my playthrough of that game with my friend who's playing Doppelganger Jack because the dialogue is actually pretty funny.
Yeah, and then we have Wilhelm to our Wilhelm run as well. We've got all sorts of runs going. But so then I've been playing mostly that. I've also been playing is it Alpha Sapphire? I can never remember for some reason. Yeah, I have.
You don't know which one you have.
Is
No,
the blue one or the red one?
I know I have Sapphire. It's just I can never remember if it's Omega Sapphire or Alpha Sapphire because for some reason
Obviously
that's
Alpha Sapphire.
Alpha Ruby
obviously-
sounds better.
I don't know.
Opal or something.
It confuses me. Regardless, I've been playing that, and I got a Vita this weekend, so I've been going back and playing Jack and Dexter from my childhood, which makes me super happy. And I've also been playing Binding of Isaac Rebirth, which is really fun. I actually last night managed to unlock almost every character in one run. So, it was an amazing run.
Yeah,
Samson is incredible.
yeah. Also, Azazel or whatever his name
Yeah,
is.
Azazel is my favorite.
so broken.
I love
Like,
Azazel.
he starts with Brimstone. It's like just
doesn't
short-range
have any-
brimstone.
Short range Brimstone, and he doesn't have any health other than the, evil
But he can
hearts.
fly, which lets him get every single chest and key that would like be
Yeah.
blocked by any other character.
Yeah, I walked into a devil room, and it was like the items there would have like taken all of my hearts, and I'm like, you know what? To unlock that guy, I have to do 3 deals with the devil. All right, Satan, let's go.
just
See-
go for it. Don't be a little girl.
I broke the game somehow with Azazel because I went to a devil room with just my 3 black hearts and was like, you know what, screw it, I'll buy this item, and I did it. And I still had 3, and it gave me 3 soul hearts or something instead, and didn't like actually take anything away.
Yeah,
And so I was like, okay, I'll roll with this. I got a free item.
it's very strange thing.
Yeah.
that-
The only one I haven't been able to get is Magdalene, just because having 7 heart containers.
I
is a
did that
lot.
last night. Like I said, it was just out of nowhere. I was like, okay.
I finished the game with 12 heart containers, like 12 red hearts. It is
Isn't
amazing.
there like an item that gives you?
You can get a card that gives you an eternal heart every time you use it, and so I'd use it on every floor, and I got it on the first floor, fortunately.
Yeah,
And
that
so,
was the item.
Yeah, I just did that every time and didn't make a single devil deal, and was like, I'm gonna see how many hearts I can get, and it worked out.
Yeah.
Isn't there also some item that just gives you like 3 red heart containers just upon picking it up?
Probably, but
Or maybe
I
I'm
would
thinking
imagine
of-
that's super rare.
Is it one of the mushrooms that does that, or
Again, it's possible. I don't know.
I don't know. I haven't played Binding of
one
Isaac in a
knows.
while.
Yeah, so the news that we have for this week is it's been a while since we've done a podcast because school and life and stuff happened.
Because we've
Well,
been at
that-
your guys' school for like 7 weekends in a row, and by 7 weekends in a row, I mean once last month and once this month.
And that kind of threw off my schedule because I was trying to do it every 2 weeks, but then it just so happened it was perfectly out on the 2-week mark. So yeah. Anyways, so recently a group of people opened up a internet arcade, which has 900 classic games on it.
That's
From-
it?
900.
That's it. They've got like Galaga and like all the stuff that they had in the old arcades and people's younger years. And they have all of them for free.
I see.
I do not remember the site. I will put it in the the links and stuff. Whatever.
I just googled Internet Arcade and I think I found it.
Yeah, so I'll put the link in there at the end of this.
Oh, I'm gonna play Karate Champ.
That's. I just love having the all the old games from back when, stuff that I've actually played in arcades before, in a way, and like being remastered to be brought to everyone's computer and stuff.
Right.
And that's I think it's a good way to bring all the older games to the new generation.
I found a game called Violence Fight.
That sounds amazing.
That has to be quality.
Violence.
But I think this is a good way to bring like old games to the new population and stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
since arcades are not really a thing anymore, now we've got this, and it shows people, show all the old games that we loved. Whenever I become old and senile, I'll be like, I remember back in my day.
Oh, you're gonna be one of those people.
I'm gonna be one of those people. No, probably
Yeah,
not
I-
actually.
I certainly haven't played probably any of these games. It's very cool.
Yeah. So.
Well, except like Pac-Man, but
Yeah,
What's Pac-Man?
fair
oh no, wasn't he like
It's
in
like
the
this
new?
guy with a backpack on, and he just goes around going.
He goes camping.
He goes camping.
Cubert.
Yeah, Hubert. But yeah, I'm trying to think if there's any games that, other than like Galaga and that other one that sounds a lot like Galaga.
Did you play Block Dude
Galaxia.
growing up?
Galaxia.
Yeah,
Dude,
Galaxia. That
About
was
Block Dude back in high school on the calculators when you had nothing else to do.
oh, yeah.
You can put Smash on your calculators now.
That
Oh,
is a
but-
thing.
Wait,
Yeah.
which
Are you
calculator?
serious?
The 84 and 83, I think.
How would that even work?
It
imagine it
kind
works
of
very
works.
poorly.
There's one stage and you can only play as Fox or Falco. But
I mean,
I
isn't
mean,
that like
that's-
90% of the Super Smash Brothers experience, anyways?
Yeah, of course.
no, it's really cool. I can't do it because I have an 89, but one of you guys with an 84 should totally try to do
I
it.
have an 84. I kind of want to try this now.
I haven't had a game
Yeah,
since
I would send you the link, but once again, my internet doesn't work right now except for Skype.
Magic.
Yeah, I wish I could siphon some of the Skype magic to Chrome, but
Not
Yeah.
allowed.
nope.
So recently, the President of the United States has actually made a statement about net neutrality.
Thanks, Obama.
No, this should be an actual thanks Obama thing.
Yes.
Because
It's a good thing that thanking our president is always taken as sarcasm now.
yeah, he
Kind of
actually
like
took
how
a,
calling someone Einstein's never a compliment.
he actually took a stand for net neutrality, and I guess to explain to the people who don't know what the whole argument is that a lot of
Logan, what's net neutrality?
Well, net neutrality, Scott, since you so kindly asked, is it is that we should keep the net free and able to use for everyone, because a lot of companies, like the bigger companies that do internet providers and stuff, they wanted to. Oh no, Scott's gone.
Oh, and he's the one who asked the question.
Oh, this is
Now he'll never know.
This is bad.
I guess we could continue on for now and hope that he makes it back.
We'll
I
pretend
think
like it never
Time Warner
happened,
got to him
and,
before he learned what net neutrality is.
they shut him down.
like, no.
Comcast put a hit out on him for asking
worry,
too many
uh,
questions.
Whenever he
Oh,
gets
God.
back, we'll just cut it all together like it never happened.
Nope.
Because I can do that. Yeah, totally gonna do that
You can try.
in my editing tomorrow. Yeah. Anyways, so I'll continue to say what net neutrality is. But yeah, so a lot of companies. Yeah, he just sent me a message. Yeah, totally professional. Have my phone on. It's good. We're good. But yeah, so it's the idea that some places like say Netflix or Facebook, they want them to be more like fast laned. So they will make you pay extra money to have stuff like Netflix or Facebook able to stream faster or whatever, versus everything having like an equal amount of bandwidth that it takes up. And net neutrality is the idea of everything should be equal and have as much access to, everyone should have the equal amount of access to it. So, but Obama stood up for it, which is awesome.
Yes, it's
Also,
good.
we're assuming that will do something.
Yeah,
but-
I have, because like, I feel good that like the president is standing up for it and everything, because that has a lot of sway, but I also feel like it's going to cause like people who don't like Obama are also now going to be against net neutrality.
Oh,
Yeah,
please
this
no.
just because
Okay.
it's like Obama said it. It's going to be the Obamacare of the internet, and it's like
Let's just put it in the way of not going to political. I don't care what side you go for. Just don't go for the side against net neutrality. It doesn't make sense. If you want, your internet usage to not be, siphoned in some weird way, like Scott has now been. They knew. They just cut him off. They were like, you can't know.
You're done.
Yeah, so it's definitely a thing that I think people should fight against, more or less. So
Yeah, if there's anybody that doesn't really understand net neutrality, like I didn't until this summer, I kind of looked up stuff on it. There's a really good mockumentary out there on YouTube called "The Internet Must Go," which is like a fake documentary from the content providers or the internet service providers' perspective about why net neutrality would be bad. And it's very funny, but also very informative.
You should just make a Word document on the side, and everything that you've mentioned, just put those links in there so you can send them to me later, so that I can give these to the people.
Very cool.
All right. So, do you want to have anything else to say about net neutrality?
I don't think so.
Comcast is evil.
I mean, that's kind of the summation of this all.
Oh, well, Comcast, I don't remember what it was, but I remember seeing something about Comcast is going to start charging people for something stupid.
Apparently they're
Charging for data on the
throttling-
home lines?
I think so. I've just heard all kinds of different things, like how apparently they're planning on reducing the amount of internet usage and bandwidth limits and stuff like that.
Yeah,
It's just kind of silly.
Yes. Although I'm cautiously optimistic because even though just Obama mentioning it is not necessarily would not necessarily do much directly, it's the first positive spin on it since
Just step in the right
2004, which is when the internet stopped being under common carrier laws, which mail is under, which started everything. Before that, they couldn't discriminate based on the messages because no one could look at the messages, no one could look at your mail. But after that, it wasn't under those same rules anymore, so people would start doing different things with different sorts of transmissions over the internet. And then since then, it's just been things like trying to restrict the internet through bills that are supposedly about piracy and blah, blah, blah. It's just been all negative things, and this is just one small positive thing that's kind of hopefully turned things around.
Yeah, and there was a big movement recently about all that kind of stuff. They were trying. I know Netflix and Reddit both had a thing on it.
Yeah.
And they had a little spinning buffer bubble in it. So yeah, there'll be some links to information about it. And so it's definitely a thing to look up and be knowledgeable about, because it's a very important thing to talk about and such.
Yes.
So
back to our silly video game talk.
yeah. So Valve, well, this is really silly. It's more of Valve recently has been toughening up on their early access games. Early access is Valve's little thing for games that are still in alpha or beta to be allowed to be bought and people to be able to play them before they are officially released. And it's a really good program. I like it a lot. It's kind of like having an infinite beta test. It's like having infinite beta testers, except for they pay for it. So it's a little backwards.
Right. It's kind of like formalizing the way that Minecraft was released. It was the way I understand it.
Right. It's a very good thing. I have 2 or 3 games in my Steam library that were early access.
No, you have Viscera, and don't you have Space Engineers?
Yes, okay.
Both of those are
both
early access.
So then that is definitely 3, because I also have Crypt of the Necrodancer, which is an amazing game. If you ever want to, you should definitely pick that up, because it's really worth it. It's like a little rhythm game. You move around to the beat of the game. But they've been improving on it a lot, and it's a really good game as it is right now, but as it goes along, you get to get the updates on it, and they're all free. So you just kind of, because I actually played Minecraft back when it was in alpha. I remember someone told me about it. I got it when it was in alpha, and I've watched it change. I don't play it much anymore, but
you did for a very, very long time.
I mean, what is it? I got it. I want to say my sophomore year, and I'm a sophomore
Right.
in college now. So that's
Very
a good bit of
long
time.
lasting.
So that was definitely a good thing that was worth it. And it's really strange because it does give you a very strange sense of nostalgia too, because like all the stuff that they change, you're like, man, I remember when that used to be a thing. Remember when that used to happen? Or like before they had the Nether in Minecraft. Minecraft almost seems weird without Nether now. You're like, man,
Right.
you remember when it was just the overworld and there were no biomes? It was literally the same thing everywhere. It's gone through so many changes. But it's really cool because you get to be a part of it. But anyways, back to what Valve is doing is they're trying to be more strict on it so that people aren't getting... So people aren't scamming them. People aren't scamming people and being like, oh, hey, look, here's our game. Pay us a lot of money and we'll give it to you and we'll never give you a full game.
Right.
And I think that's kind of a big deal. Because...
Yeah, I think it's the kind of steps that need to happen because it's all the kind of the growing pains of learning how to use new funding options. Like
Right.
Kickstarter goes through a lot of similar things. Like people get really over ambitious and they see their funding goals have been met, so they promise all these crazy stretch goals, and then they realize that the stretch goals are a lot more expensive than they thought they'd be, and they can't deliver on everything they promised, or sometimes even on the game, like the base game itself.
Yeah. Hasn't Kickstarter and like Indiegogo and all those, haven't they, each one of them been through their own like really big deal kind of things recently?
I think so. I can't say off the top of my head.
But it's one of those things, and I think some people are probably kind of, you know, bitchy about it, or they're like, oh hey, why would you do this? But it's still, it's one of those. You sound like you were going to say something.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to. I'm thinking of more specifically things to say about Kickstarter. I think it's just generally over the last few months or the last year, they've kind of put more structure in their like the risks and challenges section of all the proposals. Like you have to more clearly state what might go wrong about people giving money to you. But still, a lot of people just put, "There's nothing that could go wrong. This is rock solid." And
yeah, and I think that's kind of the like movements that Valve has taken
Right.
towards those kind of things, where they're like, all right, well, here's here's what needs to happen. You need to be sure that this is going to happen. You need to be constantly working on it and updates every so often and stuff. So, because I know Space Engineers kept getting new stuff kind of added to it, which I I got it and still haven't played it all that much.
Yeah, I haven't been playing it that much either.
Yeah,
I played Viscera the other day, and they've added quite a bit of stuff and have improved the game dramatically. So that's nice.
Well, I remember back when Viscera used to be incredibly glitchy, to where if you tried to if two buckets touched each other, they'd fly across the stage, and this.
Or you could get like this metal platform stuck in the floor, and then when it breaks out, you just fly into the ceiling.
Yeah, they were game. Not game breaking, but hilarious bugs. That
It made the game more entertaining,
it did. I mean, it made the game great, but
but it's definitely more playable now, which is also good.
I kind of wish that they would put a mode in there that we could go back to when it was super buggy, when you could break.
Wouldn't really
everything.
surprise me if they actually did that.
It'd be hilarious. I'd love to play that. I should actually play that again sometime soon, since I got it forever ago and still need to play it more. They have so many games. It's just like, man, I need to play this again, but I don't have time, or I choose not to play it, or there's another better, more distracting game out there. But yeah.
I kind of want to hear about Warlords of Draenor, to be honest.
oh boy,
Should we just go straight into the World of Warcraft talk?
It's got to happen at some point.
All right. Well,
Oh,
since
jeez.
since
Lachlan's
Lachlan's
excited.
our resident understanding of World of Warcraft person.
I think that's a good way to put it, because I'm definitely not an expert, because it's been a long time since I've had an actual max level character. But I play it more than anyone else here, I think, at the present moment. But yeah, so should I just go ahead and
Just talk.
talk it up?
Dive on
Okay.
in.
Explain things.
Well, Warlords of Draenor came out last Thursday now, or as when we're recording this, it was the 13th of November, I think. And
oh boy, Lachlan dated our content.
whoops.
This is supposed
Now
to
they'll
come
be
out.
able to find us. Now Comcast will be able to shut us down.
Great.
They'll send their time cops back to find us.
So, whoops. But yeah, it came out, and it was very interesting because I had been following it, and I had been very slowly getting back into the game right before it was coming out, and there's just in the game and on forums and on websites like WoW Insider that I follow. There was just so much negativity about the expansion, as it is usual, I guess. But there was no like positivity to balance it out. A lot of the problem was like it had been a year and a half or something like that, or yeah, almost a year and a half at least since any new content had come out.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna put this out here. I'm still kind of surprised in a lot of ways that World of Warcraft is still as big as it is, and I know that you said that like it improved because of this recent thing.
Yes, that's the really surprising part. Is that just like everyone expected this to be a really lackluster expansion, but now all of a sudden, when it came out, there are suddenly 2.6, 2.4 million more people playing the game than there were the last time Blizzard released their numbers, and it's astounding.
It's hard to see, and it's just a general MMO kind of thing. It's always impressive to me to see MMOs that have been going for years, because I mean, clearly World of Warcraft has like diehard fans, like people who were just like playing it ever since it was released, and they've just never let go. But it is still impressive to see people who've been paying. How much is subscription per month?
$15 a month if you buy like a lot at a time. It's like $12 a month, but yeah, still it's a lot of money a year.
It's relatively pricey compared to other subscription-based things. Like with PlayStation Plus, I think it's $60 for an entire year.
Yeah,
$50 for an entire year.
50.
I bought it recently, so yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cheap.
And you get what, like I have a possibility of like 6 free games I can get from my Vita.
Yeah, I probably have $100 worth of free games right now.
And you get to
PlayStation Plus.
You get to hold on to them as long as you have a PlayStation Plus account. So I mean,
yeah.
Basically, you just download that thing, and even if you need more space, you can just uninstall it, but it's still in your library, so you can just go back and install it anytime you have. It's a good thing, but yeah, with MMOs, I'm always impressed just to see like that they've done that well for that long. Because I mean, it costs money to keep servers up and all that stuff, and people have been doing it. I mean, how long has WoW been out now?
Actually, tomorrow is the official 10-year anniversary of the game.
Oh, look at that! So
yesterday they started this big in-game celebration that's going to last through January, where you can do a new max level reimagined version of one of the original raids, and get special stuff, and just generally. There's also a new battleground that's based on old world player versus player combat, and they're both supposed to be pretty cool. I haven't tried either of them out yet since it's only been 2 days, but they're throwing a big party for the next month and a half.
You play with your family mostly, don't you?
Yes, my dad, my brother, and I all play. We have 2 accounts that we share among the 3 of us, so that like 2 of us can play together at a time. And so I have not played any of the new level 90 to level 100 content yet, but my dad has. He has a character that's level 99 now, and he's very much enjoying it. And I'm getting close, and definitely over winter break, I will start. I will get into that, I think. And
I love the fact that that's like a family thing that you guys do.
Yes.
It's one of those kind of strange things where it's like, yeah, what's your family thing do together? Oh, we play WoW together.
Yeah.
And especially since it's your dad too. Like, I know like Jackson, his family, him and his brothers all played WoW a lot when they were younger. But it was just the siblings. And that's kind of a thing where when you look at it, you're like, okay, yeah. But yeah, your dad plays it too, which isn't bad. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I think we're an example of how WoW supports a lot more play styles than a lot of people think. Because like the play style people think of when you think of WoW in particular, most big MMOs like the race to max level, and then you gear up, and then you do all these big raids over and over again until you get all the stuff you can. But none of us are particularly hardcore players like that. Speaking for myself, I just love the world that it all takes place in, and the kind of the feeling of there's this big history that's being built up, because there were 10 years of Warcraft games before the game, and now there are 10 years of MMO, and so like this world has like a real history.
Yeah.
And so it's hard for me to recommend it to people who haven't played it before, because I don't think new people are really going to see what all the hype is about. But once you've invested 8, 10, 15 years in a franchise, like it's hard to just walk away from it.
I tried playing it recently, and I just couldn't get into it. I'm not a big fan of MMOs. The only MMO that I ever liked was I played the Elder Scrolls Online MMO.
Oh, really?
I was in the beta test for it, but I liked it. I liked it a lot. But the problem is I don't have the $60 to drop on it. Well, I do. I just prefer not to drop $60 on it and then pay $10, $20 a month for it afterwards.
Yeah, it's a big investment.
It's not something I'm ready for yet, so...
And it's like I only feel like it's really worth it. Like there's a lot of times where I feel like it's not really that worth it. And periods like this where it's the only game I'm playing though, because it's easy to hop on and play for like a big chunk of time or just little bits of time to find random things to do. It does feel worth it because instead of buying a lot of other games, I'm just playing this game all the time. And if that's something that you can be satisfied with, then I think the purchase is worth it. But for a lot of people, they want to play a lot of other games. So
yeah.
And I think, oh, sorry.
I was going to say, I think, and having your family to play along with you is also a good thing, because I've actually been realizing recently my whole gaming experience depends a lot on who I can play the game with. I mean, I'm good with some solo games, but for the most part, I want a game that I can play with someone else. That's why Borderlands has been such a good series for me, is that I can get friends into the game with me and be like, oh, hey, let's go shoot some bad guys and get loot kind of thing. So... I guess if I had more people like most people do with WoW, like a big, I guess, raid group or whatever.
Yeah, it can be a great place to socialize, to bring friends into, and to like all tackle something together if you really want to. But with so many other options out there that are either free to start or free forever, like you could all play Star Wars: The Old Republic, which has a free option and a cash shop, or you could just all play League of Legends, which is not an MMO, but it's kind of a lot of people's first choice for like multiplayer bonding.
Although you should be careful with that one, because that can lead to multiplayer bonding or multiplayer hating everyone.
That's true. It's the super competitive multiplayer version of Mario Party.
Take Raymond, for example.
Yeah. I'm kind of curious, what did Warlords of Draenor actually add? Because I know there is the level cap, but what else is there?
Well, there's a new... Well, it's sort of new place, like a very new place, but like a whole continent called Draenor, which, if you know anything about
like
the
Outland
series,
and
yes,
Northrend.
They already had a place called Outland, which was Draenor after it had all been exploded by crazy magic. This is Draenor from an alternate timeline, which has not had all that crazy stuff done to it, which is a lot of the reason people were very skeptical about this going into it, because it sounds like a really crazy idea that no one's going to be able to follow. But Blizzard was just like, trust us, it'll be cool, you won't have to worry about timeline stuff. And apparently you really don't. A lot of people are really liking it. So there was this big shift. Before it, everyone was very skeptical, and then it happened, and there's suddenly 10 million players again. And everyone's saying very positive things. But yeah, so when you're there, the questing is a lot more streamlined, and there's a lot more just kind of spontaneous things to do. You don't necessarily always have to go to a quest giver to get a quest. Sometimes quests will just pop up, or interesting things to find or do just pop up. But kind of the big new feature is called the Garrison, because you've kind of gone to this world, you've gone through the portal, and you've set up your base in this world, and you, the player, are running this base as kind of the commander, and you gather follower NPCs you can send on missions, which kind of recalls, if you play Assassin's Creed, like the Brotherhood missions in those, and it's kind of trying to tie Warcraft's real-time strategy roots back into the MMO, and apparently it is working mostly pretty well.
That sounds like it would get me a little more interested in it, because yeah,
And good point there is that it seems like a pretty daunting task to get new people into a game where the new stuff doesn't start until you're level 90 of 100. But when you buy the expansion right now, you get one free level 90 character. You get a boost of a character from level 1 to level 90 immediately. And they started selling those. You can, for $60, you can buy another level 90 character.
woo, all that money that I'm throwing at
It
them.
is kind of nice though that they include one for free, because it's like if you're gonna get into that game now, you're not gonna be doing anything really exciting until like 60 to 70, and then that's when the game like really sort of begins, and so that just
Yeah.
gives you a way to bypass.
They've
the
already really
24
streamlined
hours of
the
grinding.
leveling. Like, it doesn't take nearly as much experience as it used to get to places. It doesn't really feel like a grind anymore, except in the fact that there are 90 levels to get through before the new stuff starts. It's just like inherently is quite the grind.
A grind is a grind, and that's how I
Right.
feel. And that's my biggest MMO problem, is grinding. And I guess for me, the reason why, when I said I liked Elder Scrolls is because I like the Elder Scrolls universe.
Right.
When you throw me into the Elder Scrolls universe and you give me kind of a more grindy task, I'm like, okay, cool. This is cool because, at least I'm doing stuff that I'm familiar with. But with Warcraft, I'm not familiar with the games or the lore or anything, so it's kind of like, okay, I'm in this world, I have no idea why I'm doing anything that's going on right now. What is any of this kind of thing? So,
Yeah. Taylor, were you going to say something?
Yeah, I was basically just going to reiterate the fact that for pretty much any game where the first thing that you hear about it is that the game gets really good after like 80 hours that you put into it.
Right.
It's usually not a good sign, but I guess with World of Warcraft, speeding it up like that really does help.
Yeah, and I think if someone were to come across the game and didn't know going in whether they would like it or not, and they just something about the gameplay they like, they are going to enjoy that first trek from level 1 to level 90 and then from 90 to 100. Because for someone who really likes the game, there is just something like kind of magical about being in this giant world and knowing there's all this stuff in front of you. But for a lot of people, it's going to seem like a huge grind and not worth all the investment, which is why the boost now exists.
So one question, can some people just like kind of check on Scott every now and then, just see if his internet ever comes back?
Oh, yeah.
Because there's something I want to talk about, but I don't want to talk about it until he's back, because I think he's the only one who's
Right.
really that much more knowledgeable on it, I guess. I was gonna say, going along with the MMO thing, Goat Simulator recently released their MMO version of their game, which is really not an MMO, more as it's just you're now able to play in a fantasy world. And you're able to choose
Oh, yeah, I heard about that.
classes, and you can choose whether you want to be part of the sheep or the goat, which I guess is supposed to be like the alliance or whatever. But
Horde.
The Horde.
the horde, yeah. So they have those added to it. So I thought that's a pretty good
That's funny.
thing that was going on. And that also reminds me, I don't think we've talked about the new thing that Blizzard's releasing, the FPS. I don't think we ever
Overwatch.
Overwatch. I want that so badly in my life. I signed up for the beta. I saw it and I'm like, I want this. Put me in the beta test, please.
It looks quite awesome so far.
And it looks like, I mean, I know it's this kind of thing. It looks like Team Fortress 2, but it's got its own like story and lore to it, kind of thing. It's like, it's that stylized, like it's still got that like kind of Team Fortress style to it, where you've got the like 9 different classes, isn't it?
There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
It's kind
9,
of
10, 11,
in that
12.
way. It's kind of a cross between. It seems to be a cross between Team Fortress and like a MOBA, like LoL.
Yeah.
Because I think each individual character is going to be a class, kind of, and
Yeah.
it'll release more as it goes along.
So
is what it
it's-
seems like.
It's cool because it's got its 12 different characters, which is, they all have like the different roles, like support, tank, whatever, but it's got all those unique different people that have these like unique different abilities. It looks great, and I am super excited about it. And I'm hoping so much that I can get into the beta for it, because I would love to play that.
Yeah. with the whole argument that it just looks like Team Fortress 2, like personally, I don't really see that as a problem.
Oh, I don't
Like,
at all.
as someone who's
Right.
played Team Fortress 2 pretty much since it came out, I'm all for more games being like Team Fortress 2. Like, it's not a bad thing to copy.
That was a compliment to it, and it's not like,
Yeah.
and it's not Team Fortress 2. Clearly, it has its own unique differences to it. It's just, it's got that stylization and that kind of like, I guess, quirky characters to an FPS, which a lot of like multiplayer FPSs don't really get. You don't get this like, your character is already a set person and has his own unique traits, but like. Because I know, like, I mean, I guess, like, Gotham City Imposters, you have different classes and stuff, and you can kind of create your own character, but, yeah, so it doesn't have, but it doesn't have, like, these set characters who have this, like, kind of personality about them already. Because, the Scout has his personality, and they all have their own unique personalities, and in this new game, they all have their unique personalities, and I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, and it seems like Blizzard has put a lot of thought into the characters. Even I haven't looked up much about the game, but I have heard that especially Blizzard has been criticized in the past for lacking diversity in the main characters of their games, and they seem to have taken that into consideration when designing this base cast of characters for Overwatch, because it at least seems like it'll be pretty diverse.
Yeah.
So that's a positive thing, I think.
Yeah, so.
Of course, there's a dwarf. There's always a dwarf.
There is a dwarf, and I will say he does seem very out of place, because the rest of them aren't really like these like mystical creatures. They're just kind of like, they seem kind of human or very like
Yeah, I
very
believe the
close
setting
to
is
human.
supposed to be like near future Earth, where there's like a lot of technology. I don't know if there's magic or not. I didn't read much into it, but yeah, the fact that like there's a guy who looks very blatantly like a dwarf seems to kind of not mesh with that.
And when I say dwarf, I'm not talking like small person, like
No, like literally dwarf from World of Warcraft.
yeah,
like
like
a lot
a-
of people have been saying that.
a mythical dwarf, not dwarfism.
Yeah, they're certainly meshing a lot of different aesthetics. Like, there are the high-tech characters like Tracer, who teleports about and stuff. But then you also have characters like Reinhardt, who is essentially a giant knight with a hammer.
Oh yeah.
He's my favorite. Not
Yeah.
really my favorite, but he's got a giant, basically grav hammer from Halo.
I've heard already that he's like super overpowered.
Yeah,
The
it's
Archer
kind of hard
looks-
to. The Archer also looks really cool. It's kind of hard to gauge like power levels at this point, just because all the like gameplay videos have had the damage ramped way up, so that the impact is bigger. So like everything is an instant kill when it probably won't be in the actual game. I hope.
No, when they were announcing it, I heard they were actually stressing that it's a more survivable shooter than a lot of things on the market, to make it seem more accessible.
Well, like Team Fortress 2, there are times that you could just get shot in the face like 3, 4, 10 times with a shotgun. It's like, no, don't worry, just absorb the bullets and run off. It's like, I mean, that's okay to me. I don't mind that.
I mean,
that
the
feels-
heavy's just covered in a nice, safe level layer of Kevlar. It's fine.
He basically is a bullet sponge.
Yeah. And, so yeah, Overwatch is looking pretty cool. I have a feeling, like, I'm no video game scientist here, but I have a feeling that Reaper is going to be very popular. Just because
I
if we
like
look
Reaper.
at the entire history of video games, movies, anything, people always want to be the creepy guy in the hood. Like, that's what Assassin's Creed is based on, isn't it?
Plus, he's got,
he
plus
does
he's got
look
like
pretty
the
cool.
skull mask, and that makes me want to play him more. Plus, he's dual wielding shotguns, which also makes me want to play. Everything about him makes me want to play him.
Yeah.
So, but there are other characters that I would also like to try out. I want to try them all out, clearly, but
That's good.
when this game comes out, I'm gonna dive on that train of buying it probably immediately. So that'll be fun.
I think one thing that they have not settled down is how it's going to be monetized, because I think they actually said they don't want to do skins or customization because they want the characters to be immediately recognizable.
I'm okay with that. I'm perfectly.
But
okay
so
with that.
that's kind of, it seemed like they were going to go free to play and sell skins or something like that. Now it's not as clear what they might do. They haven't laid out a plan for how to charge people for it yet.
Yeah, it seems like they could make it just like a game that you straight up buy. It could also just be like MOBAs where you buy each individual character, though that probably won't work as well until they get more because they're only currently like 12.
Right.
And I'd imagine they add more just because, like, looking through the concept art and stuff, there's a lot of, I don't want to say a lot, there's like 3 or 4 characters that haven't like been added to it that look really interesting. So maybe they'll add more people.
It's interesting to see. Of course, this is all up in the air right now because it's only recently been announced, but it's a very interesting thing that I'm totally looking forward to.
Yeah, though that whole all the characters need to be immediately recognizable thing, that's where Team Fortress 2 started. And so now,
and
now
then it became
Hat Fortress.
Then it became the
true.
hat simulator.
That's right. So yeah, they could do one particular sort of customization, like hats, and maybe still
Hats.
stick with their philosophy.
Hat simulator. Hat simulator. It's a fun hat simulator. But yeah, so moving on to other things that are not related to any of this.
And also not related to Scott.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Scott.
This would be so much more helpful if you didn't always appear offline on Skype.
You could,
Right,
you
'cause
could
he's
just
the invisible prowler.
you could just send him a message, but if like he doesn't respond.
I did.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, his internet's probably gone for at least a little while.
Forever.
Damn you, Comcast!
I'm sure it's their fault
Silence his
somehow.
voice.
You have silenced yet another man.
Okay.
So there's new Mario Kart DLC, which doesn't really
What?
pertain to like anyone but me. But yeah, they added Link. Link's now in Mario Kart. I'm so
What?
happy. Yes.
Is every game
That does
becoming
not even
Smash
fit
Brothers?
the theme.
Yes.
Yeah. If I can find it, Scott sent me a
Can
pretty
you
fun.
stab people?
That'd be hilarious, but no. They did add the Hyrule. The Hyrule Castle is now a level, and it turns all the coins into rupees. So
Oh, that's cool.
it makes me pretty happy that they've gone out and they've kind of done the like. I mean, it's Nintendo's apparently gone towards the thing that everyone's upset about. They've gone more towards DLC, like not free DLC, just buying DLC stuff. But I don't mind it too much because it added a bunch of new stuff. It added 3 new characters, 4 new maps to play on, and I think like 6 new cars or something like that. So it added it added a bunch of stuff. And then there's another one coming out. That's the the funny thing is it's the Animal Crossing one. So they're adding some Animal Crossing characters, and Dry Bowser's going to be in that one too. So that's cool. And then they'll add.
Because Animal Crossing needed to be more horrifying. It needed a giant undead turtle within it. It's great.
So that'll be fun when that comes out. It also did add Mute City to it as well. Mute City is now. No, I'm sorry. It added 8 courses. I said 4. It added 8 tracks to it. So, and some of them are like tracks brought back from old games. Like one of the new ones is the Super Nintendo, or no, is it the Super Nintendo or the NES? It brought back one of the old Rainbow Roads, which is like impossible, and now they put it up in like 3D and stuff, and it's even more impossible.
Oh God, no.
It made me sad. I was like, I can't.
So does that mean the game has 2 versions of Rainbow Road now?
3 versions of Rainbow Road. They
3
have
versions of hell, you mean?
Yeah, they have the new version of Rainbow Road, which isn't actually too bad. That one's okay. It actually has some bars on it. You can not constantly die on that one. It's also a space station, so it's kind of cool.
Okay.
But then they have like
Space.
one of the older ones, one of the I think the N64 version maybe. I don't know. I feel like Scott would be able to tell me these things better, but whatever.
Alas.
But alas, he's gone. That's the name. That's the title of this episode. Is Rest in Peace, Scott. So.
Is that how
Who the
you've
hell
picked
is-
the titles before? Just random
Random things that have happened. One of them's called Trainwreck because we literally just nothing went okay. Or
We
not,
derailed for a while.
we derailed for a long
I
time.
have listened to that one.
That one was not fun. But
So, Going back to the Rainbow Road thing, who is building space stations in the Mario universe? Like, do the Toads
The
have that
Toads.
technology?
Yes.
Like-
the Toads have any technology they want when they're
I
not.
love toads.
Like,
what was the
there's-
point of the space station?
Like, they're still ruled by a monarchy, and yet they have, like, space
See,
technology?
The thing is,
They're just very loyal.
the Toads. The Toads are incredibly capable of doing anything. They're just useless because, like, if you ever played Luigi's Mansion, you always find a Toad like cowering in a bathroom somewhere. And it's like, that Toad probably could have done a lot of work, but he's too busy cowering in a bathroom from the non-horrifying ghosts. So,
Well, I must say that I think Nintendo is trying to battle that horrible stereotype by releasing Captain Toad Treasure Tracker.
they did that like mini game in Super Mario 3D Land or whatever. 3D World, I don't remember which one it is.
Right, the new one. The
I
newest one.
I like that mini game. It's actually a lot of fun.
It looks like it's pretty cool.
Yeah. So they'll be bringing that out, and Captain Toad is an adventurer. He showed up in I think he started. I want to say he started in Galaxy. Back in Galaxy, he was.
Oh
like,
yeah, there was that team of toads. I liked them a lot that were traveling around in their spaceship.
Toad just annoys me because of its voice.
I
then,
love it.
And then there's Toadette,
Cutest
which
thing
is
ever.
possibly the worst thing. Ah, Jesus! Yeah, so. But that's fun. You get to race around as Link now, and it's great. I like racing around as Link because clearly, I'm not a huge fan of Zelda. Clearly,
He's lying.
I know. Yeah. So that's
Where did Link learn to drive?
just he had Epona for a while. He
He's a
just
very
learned
fast
from that.
learner.
There's a difference between riding a horse and driving a car.
They all have horsepower.
That was bad.
We should
sorry.
move on.
So I'm gonna balls this up because I can't say this word. Chivalry has a free weekend.
You did it.
I did it. I can't say that word
Say
on
it
normal
again.
occasion. Chivalry.
You didn't do it.
Yeah. Chivalry's having it. There we go. Yay! I'm doing it. I don't know what's happening.
You should start that sentence and actually continue it, so you don't have to do it again.
Okay. Chivalry is having a free weekend. Hooray!
Oh.
This
Hooray.
weekend it's free. I did not like that game personally. I know a lot of people did.
Loser.
See,
Sword Fight the video game.
yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's because I sucked at it. Maybe I'm just one of those people. I'm just like, man, I suck at this game. I'm never gonna play it again. But
Sword Fight the video game and funny Steam name the video game.
oh yeah, because it ended up.
Yeah.
You guys
There's just
ended
a lot
up
of
finding.
funny Steam handles.
Yeah.
Like Tickle King of America. Shout out to if you're out there in the world listening to our podcast. We really enjoyed your name when you killed us a lot.
Thank you. Yeah. So. And I guess I played the game like before it really got fixed and everything, so like a lot of it bothered me because I felt like it was a very unfinished game at the time when I played it. So maybe going back and playing it again, I'd feel a little bit better about it. But yeah, so that's free for this weekend, which the time this podcast gets out, it's probably not going to be free anymore. But
Haha.
haha.
Also, somewhat related to that, apparently Chivalry is actually planning a PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 release soon.
That's odd that they're going to a previous generation.
I don't know. It also
doesn't
seems
look
kind of
right.
weird.
Everyone's going to the previous iteration, and it bugs me so much. I know that I shouldn't care, but like,
It's kind of dumb.
guys, if you want to sell a system, if you want your new system, the PS4, the Xbone, if you want that stuff to sell, start making games for it. Don't go back. Going back just makes people go, well, and I don't have to buy a new system. Don't do it.
Or I'm just not going to buy that game because I have a PlayStation 4 now and it's not backwards compatible.
I don't understand. Sony, fix your shit. Do it.
Fix it. Oh, but
and,
yeah, apparently.
And Microsoft, do it.
Also, it seems kind of strange because I haven't played Chivalry very much, but isn't a lot of it based around like mouse movement? Like its whole melee system is like really advanced. I don't know how they're going to replicate that with like PlayStation 3 and Xbox controllers. I don't know if they're going to like do something with the.
Have you played
No.
Dead Island? By any chance?
I have not.
Because they on console they had a system where like how you move through thumbsticks changed how you were attacking people, And they could do something like that, where you hold a button to toggle using your arms, and then your sticks use your arms, instead of, like, looking around and moving.
That might be viable, but a lot of the advanced strategies, from what I remember, not that I was ever good at them or anything, are like you start a swing and you actually move the camera through with it to kind of get yourself a wider arc of your swing or things like that. Or you can delay it by like looking up while you swing down. And so I'm not like, it seems like you have to control a lot of things at once that might, I don't know how well they'll be able to do that on the console.
Yeah, so
Well,
yay, chivalry.
hooray!
We'll see.
So I guess we'll just go into the thing that Taylor knows stuff about, and I guess the rest of us can also
jeez.
talk about League of Legends updates. Yay!
Yay.
New Summoner Rift beta was added. Yeah.
The jungle is hard.
And then
Looks
there's
so
a
much better.
there's a completely new jungle. I must learn the ways of the jungler now, by the way. I've
Just
decided.
because you played Udyr once.
I want to play Udyr more.
I don't like Udyr.
Well, I like Udyr, so
Warwick
I
is
saw
king.
weird like rock guys or like rock pod guys in the jungle
so
last
like
night. when
the goal. I
played.
think the golem's like the only thing that's the same. Oh no, the wolves.
They
kinda
looked
exist.
different though.
There's a two-headed wolf
Yeah.
instead
Yeah.
of the regular one-headed wolf.
And yeah, apparently the giant red lizard has been replaced by bramblebacks or something like that.
Oh yeah, it's basically a plant.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I feel it's good that they're like creating their own unique like creatures to put the forest in, but it really makes it hard to like talk about because it's like, yeah, you got to go get the brambleback camp or the
I'm gonna call it.
What the hell are you
lizard still.
talking about?
Or
or
red.
the not wraith, whatever the wraith is now. It's like a giant frog.
Yeah,
Oh
it's
my
like-
god, it scared me the first time because if you just sit there like a little tiny frog, like really tiny frog, about the size of the little what are they, poros? The little poros, they're like the size of a poro, and it just like jumped in. I was like, oh look, cute little. It jumped on the rock and became this giant toad. I was like, it's not cute anymore. I was wrong. I
This is a
was.
suicide frog.
But yeah, they updated the jungle a lot, which they seem to be putting a lot more emphasis on the use of smite, which is really interesting, just because a lot of the new jungle items allow you to use your smite in different ways. Like there's one that causes it to have an area of effect and kill a lot more monsters at once. A couple of them allow you to use it on other players, which hasn't been done before. It always used to kill non-player characters. So yeah, the jungle looks really interesting.
Do you think they're trying to like discourage people from going smiteless?
I mean, I'd imagine so, just because a lot of the new jungle items are like completely useless without it.
Also, smite is really kind of more important now because they made all of the camps harder to take down.
Okay.
So
Don't the individual camps, like the non-buff camps, don't they do something different if you smite them?
yes, whenever you smite them for the first time during that one particular fight, or while that one creature's alive, you get a temporary buff. And so,
Oh.
like, the frog gives you a poison shield, so people who are attacking you take poison damage over time, and it's done as magic.
I thought you had a shield against poison.
Smiting golems instantly restores a significant portion of mana for over 2 seconds.
That's nice.
Smiting the bramble thing gives you a significant amount of health over 2 seconds. So if you're gonna die during that fight, you can smite it and get like a third of your health back or something. Off the top of my head, those are the only ones I remember.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
it's
aside
also
from
been
the
visually updated. Yay!
it looks so much
something like
better.
that. Or have all the maps have the update to visual, or just Summoner's
I mean,
Rift?
it's just Summoner's Rift, but
So far.
yeah, but like Twisted Tree Line and the other one, the Howling Abyss, they were already kind of like new.
Okay.
And the Summoner's Rift hasn't really been updated since the game first came out back
Yeah.
in whenever.
Yeah.
Well, the Howling
so, yeah.
the Howling Abyss used to be the Proving Grounds, which was a
Yeah.
really weird kind of yeah, it was a weird looking thing. Then with the that one update with the was it Freljord?
Yeah, they brought Lysandra and they had the whole Freljord event.
Yeah,
Freljord
the Howling
event.
Abyss wasn't updated at that time. So yeah, the other maps haven't been updated. It's just that they've already been updated previously. So Summoner's Rift is the only one that's been newly changed.
This
Okay.
might be part of the lore update that we talked about in one of our previous episodes.
I still don't know what they're doing with it. Like they haven't like definitively decided on what the lore changes are, which fair enough. I know they have to kind of do it piece by piece for the different champions, but kind of like a definitive answer at some point.
Right.
Yeah, and then
So they're not like progressing the story; they're like retconning a lot of the story. Is that right?
It seems like it. Like I don't know if they're removing summoners or if they're like de-emphasizing them or.
Okay,
Like-
so like the whole original premise, like it's kind
Yeah,
of
it's kind of
de-emphasized.
different. So, which makes it confusing because so many characters are based around the league, and they
Right.
mention the league, and it's like, well,
Oh, they'll
okay then.
they'll do something. They'll figure something out. People.
But yeah,
always
I'm
do.
pretty sure we talked about that before. So,
Yeah, I think I actually listened to that part. So yeah, I know we shouldn't
Yeah.
get back into that.
and then aside from the jungle changes, they also added some changes to the way turrets function. Like the second tier of turrets now give shields to people who stand near them,
Yeah, I noticed that last night. That was crazy.
which
yeah,
is
they give the what
Iron
is-
Solari.
Is it? What is the
That's what the buff popped up for me. I had the shield. I'm like, what is it? It was the shield of the Iron Solari or whatever it's called, like from the
Oh.
locket thing.
Yeah, it was that locket shield because that's what shows
Yeah.
up.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's
yeah, they added that to kind of reduce the power of champions who are really good at poking and sieging and stuff, just so like champions have an extra bit of defense. Though, as someone who plays Karthus, I really don't like that, just because it's like this is my thing. It's like
Right.
killing people when they try to retreat.
yeah.
But yeah, and also the inner turrets now, instead of like doing like blasts as they usually do, have like laser beams that deal damage like constantly.
Cool.
Confused me so much the first time.
Yeah, so they've just kind of changed it just because they're trying to make it so that champion choice isn't like the defining thing, and so like singular. So like how they've balanced things beforehand is like as champions kind of rise as the ideal choice for a particular thing, they just kind of smite them down as they come up, which is not a
Right.
very fun thing because no one likes to get nerfed. And it's
Right.
like, this is my favorite champion. Why are you making him so weak now? And so instead of doing
When they
that,
nerfed Darius.
I know you were so sad about the Darius nerf, Logan, but I can't feel sympathy because Darius
it
is
was-
cancer.
It was totally called for and like 100% needed to happen, but it still makes me sad.
I mean, he's still good.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
you're still
he's-
good at him, but like, but yeah. So they don't have to do that as much anymore. So now they're adding a lot more different characteristics to different regions of the map, so that instead of tweaking individual champions, they can instead just tweak things in the game itself and emphasize different strategies and stuff. And so they
So
still
like,
have
instead of like a particular champion like runs away really well being too powerful, they can just like change the map so it's harder to run away. For example,
Yeah.
like this is like theoretical, but that's interesting.
Yeah, and they've kind of made it so, like, for example, they can make turrets tougher or have different, like, attack effects to, like, de-emphasize backdooring, which is, like, something Master Yi is really good against. Just,
Right.
like, running up and destroying towers before anyone can react. And so they can, like, change how the turrets function to fix that. And so basically they're just trying to de-emphasize... Because there's, like, 122 champions now, and so they can't nerf each individual one. And so in this way, they can just kind of shift strategies to balance it rather than just, this champion is completely useless now. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Ooh, useless champion.
And speaking of useless champions, actually, she's not really useless. She's been out for like 3 days. Kalista was also released. She's the newest champion. She's
High
kind of...
five for that terrible segue. You're learning.
I know, right?
Has
I'm
anyone,
glad
have you played Calista yet?
I have not.
She's not
played-
free yet, so
Yeah, and I don't really want to dump. Like, I didn't really find her all that interesting.
Yeah.
So I didn't really want to dump IP or RP into her. Just, we played against her a few times. She seems really interesting, though the people we played against weren't very good. So,
Yeah, I assume it's going to be a while before anyone actually knows how to play her.
just because, like, on paper she sounds really, really broken. Just because, like, her passive ability allows it so that every time she attacks, she gets a dash. Like, she can't cancel her basic attacks, and if someone goes out of her vision, it doesn't damage them. But each time she attacks, she gets the ability to do a little jump, which makes her like the most mobile marksman so far.
So if someone's running away, she can consistently dash to catch up.
As long as she has something to hit, she can keep doing that. And also her Q ability, which is just like the usual like linear skill shot type thing, she can use that to also get a little jump. So if even if she doesn't have something to attack, she can use that. And so she seems really powerful with that. And she also has the unique ability to like bind herself to another champion, and they get bonuses for that. And overall, she seems very interesting. She has the potential to be really like glitchy and broken. Not as glitchy and broken as Azir. God rest his soul. But I love Azir, but he's still so glitchy and broken. But anyways, yeah, she seems like she has the potential to be really broken. Though time will tell how strong she actually is. She was designed by well, his username is certainly T. He's the guy who designed Darius, Zyra, Zed, Thresh, and Yasuo.
Yes.
All
Thank you. Scott's not here to do it. I'm just. This is sad. This has become a sad episode.
That Sugoi son of a bitch that I don't like. But yeah, all champions who were like very overpowered, like when they came out or shortly after they came out, and were kind of hated by everyone and had to be significantly nerfed afterwards.
They're all designed by this guy.
But by the same guy. Yeah, and so he kind of has a reputation. So
he has to uphold that reputation.
Yeah, he has a reputation for making champions who are very creative and like really well designed, but they're always overcomplicated and too powerful, and they have too much stuff. And so
Darius is not overcomplicated. He's overpowered. He's nowhere near overcomplicated. It's basically
maybe not overcomplicated, but just like things that no other champion does. Like Darius, like targeted execute true damage ability. Like that's crazy.
And my favorite thing.
Yeah, but yeah. So time will tell how overpowered she is. She seems very interesting, and yeah, that's all I have to say.
So I guess going with the new releases of things. Well, I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, that's where we're going.
Just saying.
It's a direction.
Mm-hmm.
And we're also going to have to, like, I'm going to try to avoid this and hope to God that Scott can go back. But this will be, like, the last thing we talk about, and I'll start talking about it. We'll get done talking about it. Scott will be like, I've made it back, guys!
Oh, no. Okay, anyways, as you were saying.
Binding of Isaac came out. We mentioned that already.
Mm-hmm. Or got re-released, whatever Rebirth is.
They added a lot of new things. It looks better. It plays on it's on other consoles now. It's not just a Steam game.
Oh yeah.
Which, makes it great because I got it on the Vita and I love that. Mm-hmm. Somehow I think playing it on the Vita actually makes it easier for me. Because like I suck at the game. I'm really bad at it. But then like I picked up the Vita version, first playthrough I beat Mom and I was like, "Oh, what happened? I don't understand."
No, you're still bad. You just got the best items.
I did get pretty good items though. That game is like 10% skill, 90% luck.
Mm-hmm. Aren't those lyrics to something? Never mind.
A Fort Minor song.
Yeah, remember the name or whatever. But yeah, so that game's been fun. I mean, clearly, if you've played Binding of Isaac before, it's mostly the same game. It's got some new characters, like we were saying, Azazel.
I think this is Azazel is his name.
Yeah. Azazel gets that ability, the Brimstone ability, which is the like, I'm a fire and my laser ability, basically. Mm-hmm. But your range is shorter on that. You get the flying ability, which is just magical. I guess the payment for it is that you don't have any hearts. I mean, you don't have like actual heart containers. You
just start a new character and you die.
Yes. Yeah. You get 3 of those evil hearts, which are a new thing added to the game. Mm-hmm. Apparently, the Bum Baby was like super overpowered and is still pretty overpowered.
Wait, what?
the Devil Bum Baby. The ones that like follow you around and collect things.
Oh, I didn't know what a bum baby was.
Yeah, the bum babies.
Is it the little follower thing that just floats around you?
No, it's the one. It's the one that like collects. There's the bum baby, which is the one that collects money,
Oh, okay.
and then you can get like a follower version of him. But then there's the devil bum baby, who collects hearts, who takes hearts from you instead. But
Okay.
if you get the devil bum baby to follow you around, you can just leave the red hearts on the ground. It'll pick them up. And then it used to be when the game first came out, it was a 1-to-1. You would get a soul heart out of it. So you could just walk by a regular heart, give it to the baby, and it would give you a soul heart, and that was totally worth it. Now, it does the same thing still. It's just not exactly 1-to-1. It's pretty close to 1-to-1 though, so it's still broken.
Yeah. So yeah. Aside from Azazel, the other new characters are Lazarus and Eden, I think.
What things special do they each one of them do?
Lazarus starts with 3 hearts. He also starts with a pill and 1 extra life.
Oh
which
well,
I think extra lives are a new mechanic that they added.
I think you. Well, I guess it was the Ankh.
I thought you could get
last time.
items that would respawn you.
The Ankh. I know the Ankh did it.
Okay.
And then
Yeah, I'm
was
not really
Guppy's
sure. I
collar
didn't-
still around?
Gubby's what?
Was Guppy's collar an item in the original?
I don't know.
I don't really remember. But yeah, that's his new thing. He's named after Lazarus, whose whole thing was he got brought back to life. So, he's all about like pills and
It's all
And-
about the oxy.
getting revived. And then Eden is an interesting character just because everything about them is completely randomized.
Well, that sounds like hell.
Every time
It
you
is.
beat
Which
What,
is the
Mom's
exact
Heart?
like
or every time you
opposite.
beat the game, you get a token to play Eden.
Yeah, just so you can't like scum it, just so you can't keep randomizing it and starting new characters and getting the best possible thing. So you have a limited number of times you can use them before you have to beat the game again. Which is
Okay,
an
then.
interesting way to balance that, I guess.
I didn't know anything really about Eden, so
Yeah.
then I know there are other characters that you can unlock. But yeah, like like I said, I unlocked Magdalene. I unlocked Magdalene. I unlocked Samson, and I unlocked Azazel. I'm just gonna be calling it Azula from Avatar.
Azula Oblongata.
Yes, Azula Oblongata. Yeah, so I unlocked all 3 of them in the same game, and I was just like, well, this is the best thing. And then the rest of them I unlocked the next game I played, so...
Yeah.
Yes.
Samson is, in my opinion, ridiculously good.
I got Samson and I got curly shots, and that screwed me over.
By the time I got to the boss room on the first floor, my damage stat was maxed. And so it took like a solid 10 to 15 seconds to finish that entire fight. And then just everything in that game from that point on was just like damage upgrades.
Yeah, 'cause I remember one time I was playing through it as Kane, who's the one who has like extra luck and is thus like good at picking up extra money and stuff.
Yeah.
I remember I was playing as him, and I got one upgrade that was like money is power or something like that. And essentially what that does is it increases your damage based upon how much money you have.
Oh my god.
And so basically I ended up with like 60 pennies, however much the currency is, and like having a maxed out damage stat. And so that was really interesting.
Yeah, that game you can get seriously lucky and then just be like an ungodly amount of, I'm going to punch you in the face and you're going to die.
Or you can just get completely screwed over.
And then basically be the slowest thing with no health that's sitting there going, please kill me. And it's basically...
Which I think is the intended effect.
That game...
It's not a happy game.
No, it's not. Like it's a game that I would, for the like mechanics of it, like how it plays, I'd love to show it to people, but I like question should I, because I don't know how these people are gonna react to the things that I'm showing.
Well, I mean, you start the game and there's like a naked baby standing in the middle of a room filled with poop. It's like, what the... Like, it's hard to, like, emphasize the higher implications of the game.
No,
when it
see,
opens like that.
really, there's greater cause. It's actually a lot of fun. Please don't judge it by the fact that you just opened up into a room full of shit.
It's fine. It gets better. I promise.
No, I mean, like, I can just imagine you walk into one of those rooms with the little pieces of poop that fly around and like make silly noises at you, and are just like, "Yay!" as they come and attack you. Because I just imagine like handing my PSP to someone and be like, "Hey, try this game. It's really fun," and they're just looking at me, go, "No, trust me, it's okay. No, really, I don't know how to defend this properly, but it really is fun. Trust me."
Then you get to like the boss, and it's also a giant pile of feces that attacks you. Also, that boss is not fun. Like
The boss is really
What,
hard.
Dingle?
he's so hard.
His name's
like-
Dingle.
It's hilarious.
Thank you, Logan.
But then the other thing is, like, some of the items that you pick up, I also don't know how to explain those to people. Like, you pick up cancer, and, like, I was talking to Vigil the other day,
Stem cells.
and we were talking about the, like, positive effects, and I was like, yeah, cancer's one of the best items. It's great to have cancer. I was like, you know, if anyone were to hear me say these words outside of this, I would sound like a madman.
Shout out to cancer.
Yay for cancer, guys.
Shout out to all the pears.
8 pears and shit like that now.
Yeah. I was finally explained what that reference is.
Did you saw the video?
Mhm.
Good. Yeah, good old Rick Ross.
Though I did get Rick Ross and Bob Ross confused at first.
Now we're gonna paint a picture of a pear. Shout out to all the pears. It'd be wonderful.
Happy little accidents.
Happy little pears.
So anyways, yeah, Binding of Isaac is horrifying, and no one should play it.
No,
Except
it's
everyone
lies.
should play it.
It's really
It's
great.
fun.
I mean, you might suck at it, but you know,
It's
whatever.
really frustrating when you start and like you just get all the worst items that don't do anything for you, and you just know you're gonna lose, but you try anyways. And you get to the final boss and just die.
You have that effect of you're like, I can make it, I can do this, and then like the game's like, no you can't, and you're like, I know.
You get to that point where you have like 2 or 3 hearts, and you go into a room full of flies, and you're like, this will be easy, and then for some reason you manage to run into every single fly. Oh, Scott's back! Logan, you might want to talk about the thing.
I might finally be able to say words to him.
My god.
You should just like call him and put your phone on speaker and then put it next to the mic. Like we're making this happen one way or the other.
Just the epitome of professionalism here on the Legions of Clods podcast.
Hey, look, technical difficulties happen, guys. It's just a part of life. Sometimes technology's just like, hey, I want to work for you right now, and you've just got to deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
And
I
sometimes
meant
you're...
to open this. Has anyone called this the Clodcast yet?
We have missed such an opportunity.
Oh my god.
Lachlan, this is why you are here.
This is...
This was your purpose.
You were put on this earth for that reason.
Just
Yeah,
we just retcon it all the way back.
No, but I still need to make banner art for my for the channel, so that's gonna be it now. So thank you for that,
Podcast.
Yay!
Clodcast.
Mhm.
All right, so has anyone got in contact with Scott to see if he can make it back on?
Yes, he's saying something, but he has not finished saying something yet to me on Skype.
Scott Schreiber is typing.
Well, while we sit here and wait for this, I guess that we could talk about the fact that Grand Theft Auto 5 is...
Oh, I'm still looking forward to that.
Re-released after, what, a year on the new consoles.
Yeah, and then it will be released on PC at the start of 2015.
Wait,
And it has a new first-person mode that apparently
Okay,
so
changes
this is-
the whole game.
This is the game that you can have sex with prostitutes in first person? Which I
Yes.
saw a video for, and it was just...
You need Oculus.
It was just uncomfortable.
Uh,
Oh god, but yeah, I'm definitely gonna be getting that when it comes out on PC.
Yeah, having it for PC would be a good thing. Speaking of games that are coming out for the PC, apparently Final Fantasy... did Scott just leave the call?
yes, he said he was trying to join, but now he left.
Can someone add him? Because I'm afraid if I close the window, my recording will stop.
Okay, yes.
But
Pay no attention to the technical difficulties behind the curtain, everyone.
yeah,
Cut
this-
everything. Oh,
Just cut out the whole podcast from the podcast.
Yeah, I'm not actually editing any of this out. I'm just gonna leave it in.
Yeah.
Super professional.
That's what I figured. Yeah.
This is going to be a 4-hour-long podcast.
Yeah. Also, this would be a lot of editing work that I really don't want to do. Call has failed. Why is call failed?
Because you suck.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's just.
Well, anyway.
hope that
Is this
works.
gonna work? Yeah. So Grand Theft Auto.
GTA 5.
Oh yeah, and then the horrible transition. Final Fantasy 13 Part 2 is Scott. Are you back?
No.
God.
Oh, is it working?
Yes.
Oh,
Scott!
yeah, there we go.
Yay! So,
Ladies and gentlemen, Scott Schreiber has returned.
I walked
And I gave
all the
away
way
his
across.
last name. Uh-oh.
Am I coming through loud and clear?
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm in the student union right now in a meeting room in the dark, and I don't know. I don't even know if I'm allowed to be in here, but whatever. It's somewhere within. And so I'm gonna talk relatively quiet because it's echoing in here, and I don't know how well these walls are soundproofed.
You're pretty good for right now though. So
Okay.
I can hear you.
Does my
just
video
fine.
do? Does my video show anything?
Oh,
Nope.
I'll see you in a second.
All right.
How's it going?
Oh, that's creepy.
Oh
Okay.
god, this is terrifying.
Oh,
None of you will be able to see this because none of the videos being put in here. But yeah.
Yeah, turns out I can't. I tried to turn the lights on in here, and it's on one of those motion sensor things. So I just didn't move for about 5 minutes, and the lights just went out. So I just said, "Screw it, whatever."
No, turn your webcam back on. I missed it.
Who me?
Okay, so yeah,
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 13 is. Oh, god.
It's dark in there.
You can see the. You can see the. There's the window that goes outside.
Oh,
Good.
Oh,
No one's
anyways.
gonna be able to see this.
This really good conversation for an audio format
Mhm. Yeah.
show.
Yeah, you guys are gonna have
Um,
so much fun.
wait,
with
Logan,
this.
are you recording your screen?
I'm recording the screen, but I'm not putting any of the video
I mean,
into it.
You can put in a couple seconds.
Um,
For the sake of the viewers, Logan.
It's
For the
it's
children.
recording at 1 frame per second. It's not gonna happen.
So, yeah.
So wait. So what all did you guys cover? Just in like summary.
Basically everything.
The life, the universe, and
So
everything.
I've been waiting this entire time to talk
To
about the
talk about
Nintendo
Final-
games.
Oh,
The
I thought you
Nintendo
were gonna
games
say- wait,
specifically.
you said something about Final Fantasy.
Yeah,
just a second
Final
ago.
Fantasy 13 Part 2 is going to come out to PC now.
Yeah. I haven't played that one.
So that'll be
But,
great for you. But yeah. So finally getting to the points that I wanted to get to this whole time. Now Scott's here. So Smash Brothers for the Wii U has
Oh
been
yeah, I guess we haven't
released.
talked about that yet.
Yeah, 8-man Smash, guys, which means all of us will be playing it together around Thanksgiving time. If
And
you
more.
guys can.
Fantastic.
I'm gonna
But
cut your power.
but
do it.
yeah, so we could play 8-man Smash, and with the new Smash, they brought out amiibos.
Oh, speaking of Super Smash, some of you may have seen this. It was on. I know it was on Reddit, but some guys in for fun mode, and he got kicked from the match for repeatedly targeting a player. And apparently, about after 30 seconds of just going after this guy, the game kicked him for it.
Wow.
So that can happen.
Well,
Indeed.
That
He was
actually-
with-
Yeah,
too
that's
hard.
a bit of an unfortunate thing because it's like, I mean, I understand like the mindset behind it a little bit, where it's like, for fun, don't just beat up on this one guy. But that's, I mean, you can still have fun.
Like,
I
who's
don't
to
know.
say that that's not like fun? And
I mean,
for
it's
that,
like
was it like a friend group or was it like playing over the internet?
playing
Internet.
the internet. Just
Oh,
like
okay.
random people.
That makes more sense. To me, then.
Yeah. And I wonder like how that's like, categorized or not categorized, but like how is that determined that you're beating up on someone, quote unquote? Because is it like that you can't hit them more than 5 times within 10 seconds, or
I would imagine
know.
that it's the noticing of like the fact that this one person is the only one who's been hit by the other person in 30-second amount of time. So it's like he literally has not hit another person in that game so far.
Right.
But I can say that for one, it looks absolutely fabulous. Like with it being, the HD console and all, like it really looks good. It really, really looks good. And I even I hooked up a few of my I think I have 5 controllers in my room right now. So I hooked up all 5 controllers, including my DS because that counts as a controller. So I hooked up all of my controllers, and I basically went into the mode. I like did some things. I threw some stuff around just to see no frame rate drops and no problems whatsoever. It really does run really well.
Hooray.
I also found out that City Escape is in there and that you can customize the music for stages. So God help you all if you play a game with me in the Sonic level, because we're going to play City Escape, and that's the only song it's going to play. Only song. Escape the City. Only
Wait,
song.
can you make it so that City Escape plays on every single stage?
I wish, but no.
Man,
You can make it play on all your custom stages, probably.
That is true, yes. And I would make it play on all my custom stages. But
Do they have the Sonic Heroes theme?
yes, they do. It's
You
the
gotta
best.
play the Sonic Heroes theme. I mean, they had it in Brawl.
I put the Sonic Heroes theme, and Escape the City is like the loudest too, and like occasionally Green Hill Zone will play, but like very, very rarely. So I'm just like,
they have the Shadow the Hedgehog game theme song.
I don't think they do.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Those damn Chaos Emeralds.
I gotta get those damn
I-
Chaos Emeralds.
have they wiped Shadow the Hedgehog just from history yet? Like, is that a thing? Like, we're not allowed to talk about it?
So much. It had
Actually, I
branching
think-
paths and
Oh,
everything.
that does remind me though. That Sonic Boom. I had such high hopes for it, but apparently it's really, really, really bad. Like it's comparable to Sonic 06, and that is depressing to me. Because they're like, guys, new Sonic game. I'm like, awesome, and then they're like, it's not a good game, and I was like, damn it, I had such high hopes for you. I heard it was very rushed and blah blah blah. I at least hope that the show that they're making based off of it does a lot better.
Oh, is that still not come out?
I don't think so. Maybe it has. I don't know. I'm not paying attention
Look
to
it
it.
up.
So I would definitely like to see that one. So getting to the final topic that I wanted to talk about. New Pokemon game!
Oh god.
Pokemon.
Yeah, that's why Scott needed to be here, because he's like the only other one.
You
Uh,
nerds.
And he
Yeah,
knows the remake better than I do, because he played the original. I did not. I just
How far are you now, by the way, Logan? Have you gotten much farther?
no.
I mean, I'm not like judging you.
No,
or
and then
anything.
that's the other thing that I was gonna say is that everyone I've talked to is like on like the 4th or 5th gym leader, and I'm not even on the second one because I'm too busy going, look, new Pokemon, I'm gonna go catch it, because
Yeah, that's how it should be. Because like, if you haven't played the original, like the only reason people are so far is because they played the originals and that they know like what to do, where to go, and what Pokemon are where, and they're just like, there's nothing I want in there. I'm just gonna keep going, kind of thing. But yeah, you should definitely take time to soak it in, especially because there are a lot of things that are completely different from the originals, and I haven't even gotten incredibly far. Like Mauville City, which is where the electric gym is. The entire city is completely different. It's not the same city at all. It's like an underground mall,
yeah,
which is so cool.
I mean, the way I play Pokemon game, and I guess technically I should say the like 2 that I've played, is I am the person that likes to catch them all. I like to have my Pokedex complete, like not complete, but I like to have the Pokedex. Like I like catching more Pokemon than I do like actually training them all to fight and stuff. I don't go by the like, let's go competitive. Let me go find this perfectly EV trained. Let me go get this perfectly EV trained whatever because it has this move and this move and this move. I'm like, look a Ludicolo or look a Lotad, look a Zigzagoon, look a Tailo. I want them all except for Wingull.
By the way, I know what there's one Pokemon where I have a good feeling about how you're going to react the same way you did to when Lotad did Teeter Dance, because this thing does Teeter Dance, and it's pretty much just teeters 24/7 actually, but it's called Spinda, and it's actually a very unique Pokemon because
is it the one with the spirals?
yeah, the Spirals. It's a fun fact. It's almost impossible to encounter the same one twice because the spiral patterns on it, at least this is how it was in the old, I don't know if it's like this in the remake, but in the old game, the spirals were actually drawn on the sprite by an algorithm, and the algorithm, there's almost infinite amount of variations that the spirals can have. So
That's such a large amount of work for such a minor detail that like
on
I
a
played-
Pokemon no one uses.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, no one ever. Yeah.
Yeah. Spinda. Like I remember it was like a dizzy bear, and that was all I remember. And it was in both versions, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, because I had Ruby, and I remember like you know finding Spindas and stuff, and I never noticed that.
I feel like because of the fact that so many people liked Ruby, that Sapphire's become the better game this time around, like the better selling one.
Oh, because like they wanted to try the other one.
Yeah, and I feel like that's what happened. And of course, with me, I'm gonna end up buying both. Like I'll eventually have Ruby. I have Sapphire for now, but I'll eventually have Ruby just because it's the way I do things.
Groudon for life.
No, Kyogre's amazing.
Groudon's pretty cool though.
Also, Lugia's in the Lugia's supposedly in this one. So
I don't like Lugia.
You know what? You can get out of here. Just leave now.
No,
Go.
I don't not like Lugia, but
Both of you get out.
Ho-Oh.
the second gen legendaries were the only ones where I didn't really wasn't crazy about either of them. I was just kind of like, I mean, Lugia, sure, Ho-Oh, yeah, why not? That's kind of how I was about those. Every other one I've had like a favorite.
What about
That
did
had
the legendary dogs come up in the second?
Yeah,
Okay, I was like
they just weren't
right,
mascot. Or actually, were they mascots? I think Suicune was the mascot of Crystal. I think.
Yeah, I don't know if I don't think the other two were ever as like big a deal as Suicune was.
Yeah, for some reason, because Suicune's the legend behind the legendary dogs is pretty cool too. I always liked it.
The thing I can say about this new game, though, is that it has been a while since I have felt childlike joy and wonder.
Mm-hmm.
But opening that game, I felt childlike joy and wonder, and I couldn't stop smiling. I was just like, this is my childhood.
Do you realize how depressing that sounded? Like, I have not known joy since the last time I played Pokemon.
Well, I'm not saying I'm not saying joy. I'm saying like that childlike joy. Like I haven't really felt that like being a child in that world kind of thing. Like I've felt joy and happiness from other things, and things have made me happy. It's just not been the childlike joy and wonderment.
We all know that you're secretly dead inside, Logan. It's okay.
True.
You can talk to us about it.
It's true. We'll talk afterwards.
No, we won't.
We'll never talk.
This is
about
the
it
new
again.
topic of the podcast: group
Yes.
therapy.
Therapy. But yeah, it's definitely wonderful, and
It's a great game. They've done a really good job adapting all the old stuff into 3D and creating new twists here and there.
Another thing I wanted to ask you is, have you noticed any frame rate drops? Because I know one of the problems with the with
No,
X and
not
Y is-
yet.
So neither have I, and that makes me happy. Like,
I
'cause
hope
know
they have fixed that. Usually it only happened with very specific moves or Pokemon. And I can't really think of an example off the top of my head. It's kind of like there's this one part in, I know it's the most random example, but there's this one part in Professor Layton versus Ace Attorney where it runs off of like a similar-ish 3D engine, and it was just like everything in the game is smooth as silk until this one part where there's one person on screen. It's this lady dressed in armor, and for some reason she just causes the frames to just explode
themselves.
And that's kind of how it was in Pokemon. Like there were certain Pokemon that when they came into battle, for some reason it just took so much effort to render them coming out of their Pokeball.
Yeah.
But hasn't happened yet. The place I would expect it to happen in this new one is for the Mega Evolutions for the 3 mascot legendaries, since all of them are pretty.
I can't wait
crazy.
to get Rayquaza.
Oh yeah, he's
That's
fun. And I actually don't know, since I've only ever played Emerald, I don't know exactly how the storylines of Ruby and Sapphire differ, because in Emerald, Magma and Team Aqua are in the game, and they both fight you and each other, which is pretty cool. But in these, it's only one or the other.
Yeah.
Which I love. Like the battle music for Team Aqua and Magma Grunts is one of my favorite.
Now, Scott, would you say
rival.
there's too much water?
I mean, that was a problem with the originals. One thing is, I don't know.
This is why we should all get behind Team Magma.
Yeah, exactly.
Taylor, do you have something to tell us?
Shut up. I'm not a representative of Team Magma secretly. Shut up. I'm not trying to burn the world.
I don't know if you've gotten that far, Logan, but have you sailed on the ship yet?
Yes.
Okay, in the originals, you got to watch the ship sail all the way around the country,
I would have
And-
cried. I would have been so
while,
sick
while,
of
it,
it.
while it was cool and stuff, it's just I felt like you had to do it a lot of times, and you had to watch it happen every time.
I would have been so fed up by like the third time. I would have been like, okay, I get it. This land is beautiful. Now get me to my destination. Stab.
Yeah. I've also, there's the other thing is that you in these games you get fly very, very relatively late compared to some other games.
Oh, good. That means
like,
I'm going to
it's
cry
like-
a lot.
It's like I think it's like the second or third to last gym that gives you fly.
Well,
So it's like
I'm glad they
But,
brought back XP share. I know that that's one of those things, and people are going to like. I know that
Yeah.
like Raymond especially berades me for it, but I like XP share because I don't like grinding. I hate grinding.
well, remember it's not the XP share has been a thing since the beginning. It's just that they changed it in the 6th gen to apply to all your team instead of having one hold it.
Oh wow.
Because
Yeah.
that's how in the past you just have another Pokemon hold it, and that one other would get the XP. But now it applies to all of your team.
And that's what I like more.
Yeah.
is that-
And I think actually that in the newer one they've changed its scaling a bit because the EXP share doesn't seem it's still like if you lead off with a Pokemon and then like switch out to another one, like the ones that actively participate in battles still get more EXP than those that are just getting it from the EXP share. Whereas in
Oh,
the last
that-
game, I think it didn't matter either.
No,
either way.
I felt I was still that way in the last game. At least
Oh, was it? I just didn't notice in the last
I felt
game.
like
Maybe
it was because I know like I brought I would bring out one Pokemon, you lead with him, he'd get XP for defeating him, and he'd get more XP. Then everyone else would get like a smaller distribution, just whatever. They'd get a small amount.
Distribution.
Yes, they'd get a small amount of.
Distributation.
Yep, I'm good at words. English is my first language, and I'm not good at it.
But yeah, I'm curious as to how they're going to tie in the Mega Evolution storyline with the old storyline since that didn't exist back then.
Yeah. The
there's-
I'm interested to hear about the primals. That's one of
Yeah.
the things.
Because the only like information that's revealed so far is it's just like, oh, it's like Steven's in the cave, and he's like, in the original Steven was just in the cave, and he's like, whoa, legendaries. But in this one, he's like, primal form. It's like Mega Evolution, but slightly different. Hello.
Yeah, the game is closed.
Oh, it's closed.
Yeah, it's closed.
Oh, okay, I'll pack up.
It's a trap, Scott. He's from Comcast.
Oh,
Well, I'll be back.
okay. Well,
You got tired of talking to you.
this is awkward.
Well, I think that was the first official arrest recorded on this podcast.
He's not being arrested.
You don't know that.
I'm gonna get that.
it's-
I'm gonna get that
it's-
call.
It's probably fine.
Yes, he was. For a brief moment, I thought it was his roommate, and he's not in his room.
Yeah.
He's in the Union one's closed.
Well,
What
I
did they
mean,
say? Okay.
he said it was closed, and I mean, I guess I could, that makes perfect sense. But the fact that he was able to get in there in the first place is weird to me.
Yeah.
It's like, so you can get in there, but it's not closed.
But you're not supposed to be.
I don't understand. Yeah, I mean, honestly, there's not anything else really to talk about. So I guess
That was
that's
Well
a
timed, I suppose.
good place to end.
We got to wrap up this podcast and go bail Scott out of jail.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going
again.
on a trip to Charlotte. Oh shoot! Now the Comcast assassins are gonna
Great,
know where Scott.
great.
I've said his last name. I've dated the podcast. You have told them where he is. It's terrible. Scott is
Alright.
dead.
Time to go on an editing spree, of just getting rid of all of this information.
Just don't bleep out any of the curse words. Just bleep out all of the pertinent information.
Okay,
that
I'm
Comcast
gonna
can use.
put on one of those things from Men in Black on the screen. Hopefully it'll work.
Hopefully they're looking at the screen
Yeah,
for
they,
this
very
primarily
end.
audio.
yeah, they
podcast.
just choose to look at this moment. I'm hoping that this draws their eyes towards it now, and now they don't remember anything, like this never happened.
Nope.
Anyways,
That's not a good way to get repeat viewership.
Yeah, that would be a really bad way.
Anyways,
Yeah, well, this is over now, I guess.
alright.
Scott got busted, and we're all out of things. Bye, everybody.
Good ending.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.